How we doing, y'all? Excellent. Oh, man, let's talk about it. I know what I look like. I got a body type. It's called Asperger's fat. Right? I was born in 83, grew up in the 90s. If you were born then, grew up then, you were just fat if you were this size. There was no thick, fluffy, fuzzy. If you were lucky, they might throw a husky at you. But there was none of that. Now it's 2025. We got to care about people's feelings, and that's okay, because now I am thick with 2 C's. But you're changing my identity on me. You're making me be a person. I grew up being a fat guy. I got a whole identity being around a big fat guy. That's my whole shtick. And now you're telling me I got to be fluffy or thick, and I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. So I'm going to answer the question on your guys' mind, and you're right. I do want ranch. Right? Probably more ranch than you think I'm going to want, too. Like, not a cool amount of ranch. Unless you got fat friends, and then you know how much ranch I want. I want my own ranch. It's not for the table. Okay, this is my ranch. Let's see. I think the only people that trust a bidet to work are people who've never been professional dishwashers. You know what I mean? Right? Because if you've ever washed dishes professionally, you'll know you could have a whole tray of plates on there, right? You got the spray gun, you hit it from the top, bottom, side to side, circle motions, intermittent power blast. Always one plate with a little piece of shit on it. Right? So you got to reach up there, grab the steel wool, and scrub that sucker down. Right? Everybody tenses up there because you guys think I'm saying put steel wool on your buttholes, and that's not what I'm saying, Tacoma. Okay? I would never tell you that. I'm just saying, don't give up on toilet paper. Right? It's winter. You're going to have chili again. Right? The bidet is not weighted. It's not rated for wings. It's not going to help you with Wingstop and what that does to your body. Yeah. So, made it over from Spokane. Happy to be here. Excited to be here. There was some concern about whether I'd be here, not because of the past, but because about 15 years ago I had life-saving open heart. And a lot of times I'll tell people that, and they'll be like, oh man, was that scary? And I'll be like, well, my options were have the surgery and live, or not. Right? So I don't know if it was scarier than dying, but it seems like it's working out. Right? So I had the surgery, and there I was recovering, and the lady who ran the program came by. She had a binder full of photos of people that had had it and what they're doing with their life now. And she shows me the first one. She's like, this is Diane, and she's at she's out in front of the orphanage she founded in Peru. And they're like, this is Brendan, and he's on top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And I heard that, and I was like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of that, okay? No takebacks on heart surgery, Tacoma. You can't put the clots back in. They're already out, right? But I don't want you guys to think I've been wasting my second chance at life. I've just been doing more Spokane level things. You know, I completed the spicy wing challenge at Flamin' Joe's. Yeah, thank you, right? And I got my second DUI, which in Spokane is just getting started. And I'm not trying to be super proud of getting a DUI or anything, but I did get to play the kazoo to start my car for about 3 years. Right? So I'm just saying there's joy in any experience if you're willing to look for it. That's all I'm saying. So let's see. Obviously not doing that so much now. Sober now, dating sober. Dating sober, let me just give you guys a pro tip. I don't recommend it. Right? If you remember, round of applause if you remember the first time you made love to your partner. Right. Okay, a smattering of applause, right? Because that's not how we do it in America. In America, it's meet up, get drunk, have sex, and then wake up in the morning and see if it's still okay. Right? That's the American courtship ritual. I do not recommend deviation. I remember all of it. All of it. So, dating sober, it's weird. You know, it's a whole other thing. It's not like regular dating like we just discussed. You need some help. So I chose technology to help me out, and I used the telephone dating apps to find love, right? So any Tinder dates in the room here right now? Cool. I wouldn't admit it either. I'd keep that to myself. right? There's some older people, some younger people. We got a good group. You guys know what it is. But for those of you that never had to rely on it, matching up with someone on Tinder, it's like finding a piece of pizza in the garbage that has no bites in it. Right? Like, you could pick that pizza up and walk back to your table right now, and all they would think is like, oh, dude, Josh loves pizza. They wouldn't be like, that pizza's gross. I bet it has kids. Right? They wouldn't say that. Tinder, that's the whole experience, right? So I didn't do that. I didn't use Tinder. I used one, it's called Bumble. And the whole conceit with Bumble is that when you match on Bumble, the lady has 24 hours to message you or else the match disappears forever, right? And that was important to me because as a dude who can read with all of his own teeth and a job in Spokane, I know my worth. Right? Probably about the same value here. It might be like one down because Tacoma's a bigger city, but like, you know, I know what I'm worth here, right? I'm nobody's emergency wiener. You gotta mean it, right? I might be like a Seattle 4 or something, but I'm like a Spokane 7 or 8 at least, right? And when you count that these are all real teeth that I grew, that could be a 9 in Spokane. Could be a 9. So yeah, I met a lady on the telephone and we're engaged, and that's been cool because she's got a kid, right? And I always wanted a kid, but I was too busy being an alcoholic to have one, right? So, you know, it doesn't work. So now I'm getting to rent to own a child, which is a great deal. You know what I mean? I'm going to kick the tires before I put my name on the title. I'm not just going to take any weirdo, right? Chest it out. And it's been cool. It's been cool, right? Because his dad, unfortunately for him, hasn't been a part of the picture. I'm not having to do that "you're not my real dad" dance. He's just like, oh, that's dad. But there's parts of living with dudes that he's not familiar with, like he didn't know about, right? Like he had to learn that now that there's a man in the house, if you want to go in the bedroom, you better knock. Right? You don't want to see an acorn in a pile of leaves. That isn't a view for a child. Right? He also had to learn, like, if you're in your room on your Xbox and you hear what sounds like a bear and a hyena fighting over a butter churn full of grape jelly, leave it alone. Right? Because we're real American people. We're not porn stars, all right? There's a lot of wet slapping noises coming out of that bedroom. You know, a lot of slurping and slapping noises. That's an onomatopoeia. That's onomatopoetic. You're not going to hear a lot of jokes like that. Okay, that's all I'm saying. This is a real word joke for you guys. High class crowd. But I don't want you guys to think he's the only one learning. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm developing as a person too. I learned something about myself in this relationship, and I'll share it with you guys. A couple months into living with the fiance, I get up in the morning, and you have that exchange that you can only have with your longtime partner where she's already mad at me for something I've done in her sleep. You know what I mean? If you've been together long enough, you'll have to encounter this. You'll be like, oh, did I hit on your sister or punch your mom? Like, what happened in there that I have to make up for now? Right? And I looked at her and I was like, ah, and she just goes, you remember trying to hump the shit out of my thigh last night? And I did not remember that at all. Right? And you'd think that would stick out, trying to put a wiener where a wiener doesn't go. I would remember that, I thought. And she's like, well, it happened. So I thought, okay, now we know something. We know now that there are people in the world who are sleepwalkers, and there are people in the world who are sexsomniacs, or as we call it in our house, sleep humpers. And I'm a sleep humper. That's what I learned about myself. So flash forward a couple months from that moment. It's the middle of the night. There's rustling, right? And I'm like, oh no. Sleepy Josh has been after that thigh again. So, back me up here, ladies. If the oven's hot, you slide the pie right in, right? Yeah, that's what I thought, right? So since I had already got it going, we made some sweet midnight love. And in the morning, we got up, and she looked at me all doe-eyed. She's like, hey, what was with that sweet midnight love last night? And I said, oh, baby, I know Sleepy Josh was after that thigh again, so I just thought I'd finish what he started. And she goes, that's not what happened. You woke yourself up cutting the biggest fart I've ever heard. And then decided it was time to pound. So it turns out I could be a Tacoma 5. Who knew all the time? Hey, I've been Josh Teaford. Have a great night, guys. Thanks so much.